Across the Tri-Cities in central Nebraska, we've really seen these communities grow. That's especially evident in Grand Island and Hall County. And with that growth, we need a vision for the future. I'm joined with Grand Island Mayor Jay Vavricek. Thank you, first and foremost, for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
People at home who haven't heard of the Grander Vision project going on right now, can you tell them a little bit about what it's about?
Sure. Well, we've invested a year to get to this point. And now, ultimately, we're trying to ask everyone in Hall County what steps we need to take today for the future. What improvements, what things ought to be considered, but also how can we grow as a community? How can we be a better place to live? And it's all based on a strategy that's built around asking people their thoughts on a survey, ultimately get to a strategic plan, then action steps, and we'll move the community forward.
You touched on it a little bit, and I think it's important for people to know at home that this is now a year in the making. This has been going on for a year, and what has that year really entailed?
Sure. Well, we reached out to 25 to 30 community stakeholders, sought their advice. They all indicated, yes, indeed, the success of the Heartland Vision effort 15 years ago was so successful. How come we're not doing that again? So we went ahead and embarked on that, had funding, privately funded project, the Nebraska State Fair. We appreciate their generosity. And based on that, then Hall County Government Board of Supervisors said, you bet. City Council said yes, and we're now moving forward. And it involves, of course, the people of Grand Island, but also Alda, Cairo, Doniphan, Wood River, rural constituents, because we're considering community as one home, the home we all live in.
You bring up those rural constituents, and over the summer there have been meetings in those communities. How did those meetings go?
Oh, that was outstanding. We had stakeholder meetings. First time ever we had all education partners in one room in Hall County. First time ever. We've attended city council meetings, of course, Hall County Board of Supervisors, but also village boards in Doniphan, Wood River, Cairo. So we're reaching out to those elected leaders and community leaders too.
And a great way to reach out is by doing a survey. And you know, the Grander Vision has made this survey as easy as it can be for people to give their input.
It is super easy. If I can do it online, I guarantee you can even Google it and you'll get Grander Vision. So go to grander-vision.com. There's only 21 questions. And that basically is just earmark their preferences. You can also specify your own suggestions. We'll ultimately take all those tabulations and mark this date down, circle it on your calendar, August 6th, because we're going to have a community open house at the Bosselman Conference Center at the Heartland Event Center. So anyone can go ahead and take part of that, and we're going to have a keypad where people will actually vote on preferences based on some of the early discussion. So it's going to be a great process. We hope to complete this with action steps, hopefully by the end of October.
Now, they have through July 31st to complete this survey.
Yep.
What kind of range of topics does these 21 questions have?
Sure. We are trying to promote a sense of urgency. If you haven't, taken a few minutes, for gosh sakes, go online to Grander-Vision. Agriculture, education, recreational issues, suggestions, how we can be a more welcoming community. Also, why do you live in Grand Island? What keeps you here? What suggestions do you have for your future? You look at all those different things, and so indeed 21 simple questions, but it's going to form a foundation for a strategy, and then that'll go ahead and be impacted with an action plan.
So real quick before we have to go, one last time, they have through July 31st to complete that survey at grander-vision or -vision.com, and then August 6th, mark on their calendars for the open house.
Yep, that'll be the first open house. We'll have another one later on, but no, don't sit on the sidelines. Be engaged, young, old, any gender, any racial complexion, be involved, because well, Abraham Lincoln said, to predict the future, you create it. And that's what we're doing now.
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining us today,
My pleasure.
Mayor.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We've got to look at your final forecast coming up next.